This podcast is part of the Robots Radio Rocket Club, a program designed to help all podcasts reach their full potential. For information about joining the Robots Radio Rocket Club, check out robotsradio.net.
Welcome to the Gundam Lorecast, where we take a deep dive into the Mobile Suit Gundam series, such as the multiple timelines, mobile suits, characters, and so much more. Welcome back, pilots, to another episode of the Gundam Lorecast. I'm one of your hosts, Brandon, or also known as Ben of Temeria, and always with me is my good friend, Jesse.
What's going on, guys?
And today we are continuing Season 2, as it is obviously the second episode. And what other mobile suit should we talk after, the original RX-78? Well, I decided to talk about the Zaku II, everyone's favorite mobile suit from any of the series. And if you can't tell the sarcasm in that, it was sarcastic, because it's a Zaku.
I will admit I've never wanted a Zaku Gunpla or merch of any kind until
Nope. I have
show.
not either, to be quite honest with you.
Until the new show. I want one now,
okay, yeah.
But I didn't.
Yeah, the model kit is interesting. And watching the new show. Finished it, by the way. It was awesome.
Yeah, I loved it. It's getting a lot of hate.
Really?
Yeah. People aren't happy about the animation.
What's Unreal Engine 5?
Yeah.
It's all CG. It's fine. It's only 6 episodes. It's not that bad. I actually liked it. The storytelling was very nice. They threw the F-bombs multiple times, not just once, found out. They were saying the F-bomb a lot. And then they actually really show why the Zeon called... It wasn't called the White Devil. It was called a White Demon in the show. But pretty close enough to where it's like, oh, no, yeah, it's...
probably.
It was... The Gundam was absolutely terrifying in the show.
It was
the
great.
First time you see it, and then literally you see it and say, oh, okay. And then the next next scene is you see a Zaku literally just explode. It's like,
even the gym when it showed up was terrifying.
Right.
And it is hard to make one of those look terrifying.
Right, because the gyms are not terrifying. They're not a terrifying mobile suit at all. It's a cakewalk compared to the Gundam. But for a Zeon battling beam weaponry when they are still using ballistic weaponry, pretty terrifying. Yep. That's pretty terrifying. Especially since none of the weapons actually really damaged the Gundam.
Yeah. Until
the very, very end. So, but yeah, it was great. Really good show. So go check it out. It's great. It's on Netflix. It's only 6 episodes, so it's not terribly long. It's only like 2.5 hours, 3 hours tops. So go check it out.
Highly recommend.
But to get into our topic today about talking about the Zaku, so the MS-06F Zaku II is one of many variants of the MS-06 Zaku II series and is introduced in Mobile Suit Gundam television series. So the original Mobile Suit Gundam, these are literally the first mobile suits we see, are literally Zaku's.
And then you get to see how overpowered the Gundam actually is immediately.
Yes. Because just like in the new show.
Amuro. Oh my god.
Amuro.
Thank you. Who has never been in a mobile suit before, hops in it and he's just like, you guys are dead.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So getting into the technology of the Zaku, so the MS-06F Zaku II was the Principality of Zeon's mainstay mobile suit during the One-Year War, compared to the MS-06C Zaku II early production type. The MS-06F removed the heavy anti-nuclear protections, reducing its armor weight and improving its movability. It was also refitted with a more powerful generator, the MYFG MES series fusion reactor jointly developed by Xenonic and M&Y Company. So, using the Minovsky particles to their full effect for Zeon specifically, because obviously the Gundam is a whole different ball field compared to the Zaku. So there's that. So otherwise, it was not significantly different from its predecessor. The MS-06A and the MS-06C existed subtle differences among the F-type, depending on the time of manufacture and the originating factory. Prior to the introduction of the MS-06S Zaku II command type, the MS-06F, piloted by squadron leaders, were equipped with a head-mounted blade antenna, which the command type pretty much phased out that style of the squadron leaders specifically piloted the command types rather than just a Zaku II with a modified head unit.
Right.
So, and yeah, it's none of these, like all the Zakus literally looked exactly alike. They just have different body builds slightly with different armaments. That's pretty much it. So the MS-06F could run at a speed of 85 kilometers an hour, up to 100 meters into the air with the use of its thrusters, and lift around 80 to 90 ton of weight with one hand. Its thrusters and thrust of 45 tons, though its punch of force of 560 ton, doing so risks severely damaging its manipulators. Instead, it frequently used the spike armor on its left shoulder for shoulder tackles, which could be a force of 4,500 tons. The cost of MS-06F was equivalent to that of 5 Type 61 tanks or 1,500 civilian automobiles from the year UC 0078, each costing 30% of the salaryman's average annual salary. So this is interesting that we actually get like a breakdown of how much they get cost. Yeah, they're expensive as hell. And they're mass produced.
Which is wild.
Yeah. And the Type 61 tanks are the tanks we see in the original series. They're like the purplish looking tanks that you see during the show. Not the ones with the not the tanks that can have like the pilotable flight the capsule thing on the top of the head.
Yeah.
So, completely different.
It's if you've seen the new show, these feature a decent amount.
Oh yeah, that's right. If you go watch the new Netflix series for Gundam Requiem for Vengeance, you see these tanks left and right. They're all over. You see a lot of infantrymen in the show. There's very little mobile suits. It's mainly dealing with infantrymen, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
So, moving on to the fun part, it's armaments. So, it does have this, classic shoulder shield that we see with this specific Zaku. Mounted on the right shoulder is a simple defense used to block most physical projectiles. The Zeon Remnants Zaku II units in the UC 0096 Last Sun had shoulder shields treated with anti-beam coating for better protection against beam weaponry. So they learned 20 years later.
Took a little too long.
Yeah. And then Six Yami in chat says, starts to wonder the manufacturing company for these mobile suits is in the Zeon base. How are the workers there, and are they even paid there? Just anime.
Probably not.
I mean, knowing Zeon, probably not, and they're probably just conscripted because they're at quote-unquote war, and Zeon is Zeon, and they're cheap. They will do anything to do whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. Hell, they dropped a colony on Earth, for crying out loud. They don't care at all. They don't give two shits.
It's kind of funny.
Right. It also is equipped with a 120 millimeter machine gun. So this is a standard weapon for Zaku type mobile suits. Is a shell firing gun that does not require energy to use. However, the effectiveness against heavy armor is very limited. It holds 100 rounds per drum, with spare drums that can be stored on waist armor, which we see these weapons all the time as well. These 120 millimeter gun is not going to do anything to a Gundam. We see that in the original show, and we see that in Requiem for Vengeance, where the bullets just bounced off and did absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Unless it's like literally like point blank range. That's the only time you're probably going to see any damage. Maybe.
It's kind of funny.
So you have the MMP-80 90 millimeter machine gun. So this is an alternative to the 120 millimeter machine gun. It is used 9 millimeter bullet, or 90, sorry, not 9. That's way too small. 90 millimeter bullets instead of 120 millimeter type, allowing for greater firing speed and better penetration capabilities. Fed by a 32 round magazine, it is also integrated with a grenade launcher under its barrel for more firepower. So, just like any like an M4, M16 like we would see in Army today is similar to that style of a weapon. So, then you have the HNL SB 25K / 280 millimeter A-P Zaku bazooka. So this is a 280 millimeter Zaku bazooka, which was another standard weapon for the Zaku type mobile suits. The bazooka fired explosive rounds that were quite effective against the armor of Earth Federation mobile suits and battleships. Can be stored on the rear waist armor when not in use. So, just like the Gundam, it has its own bazooka. It can go in the back part of its waist. So, yeah. And yes, Six Shami does say in chat that two units of the RX-78 before they were activated were destroyed somehow, which we did go over in the last episode.
Yeah.
The RX-78-2 plot armor. that's the only
There's something tells me that they're keeping those in their back pocket, that they've never been on screen before, to be like, oh, but here's this one for this other spin-off show.
Right. Like, well, Requiem for Vengeance is during the 1 Year War. It's like, oh, this RX-78 was a prototype to the Gundam EX that we see in the show, or the Gundam ground type, or some random Gundam that is in the 1 Year War that's not the RX-78, when that was supposed to be the only Gundam, technically.
Yep, 100%.
So, but we know that, there was different manufacturers and places where the Gundam was being built, and each factory that was building them had their own different, specifications for them. So, next we have the EX T2-2 beam bazooka. So this is a weapon originally developed by the MS-09R Rekdam. The beam bazooka is own internal reactor rather than an ECAP, and is essentially a Musai class deck gun scaled down for a mobile suit use. Due to the using a reactor rather than an ECAP, the beam bazooka is capable of a single sustained blast or several short bursts, requiring a lengthy recharge period of approximately 10 minutes before it can be used again.
That's a long time.
Yeah, when you're in a mobile suit combat, 10 minutes is
might as well be an eternity, especially when you're fighting against Gundams.
Yeah. If you're fighting against, standard infantry and tanks and stuff like that, that's one thing. When you're fighting a mobile suit on mobile suit battle, it's like eternity. It's terrible. Thankfully, they don't have that when you're playing Gundam Battle Operations 2. It's not a 10-minute cooldown, thank God.
Yeah.
That would be dreadful. Even, I finished Code Fairy, which is a Zeon side story with a specific unit of female pilots for Zeon. And, by the way, it plays exactly like Gundam Battle Operations, but it's all story, and it's really cool because it is set in the 1 Year War. but it is set where it's not. It's in the back end of the story rather than the front end. So you don't see the arcs. I mean, you don't see the white base or you don't see anything like that. It's all in the back end of the story. So you kind of get a little like the aftermath of Odessa and what's the jungle base? I can't remember on the top of my head. Is that Odessa?
No.
It's just the J, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh.
Crap, I'm gonna have to look it up, or you can look it up. One of the two.
It's gonna bother me if I don't.
Right, I know, but play Code Fairy. It's really cool. Is if you're not used to Gundam battle operations, it is a very unique control scheme. So it plays very realistically if you would be piloting a mobile suit. But the Zeon squad you play as are mainly Zaku's, and each have a unique style of Zaku, which is really really cool. But moving on, you have the Heat Hawk Type 5. So this is an axe-shaped close combat weapon. It uses a superheated blade to cut through armor and enemy mobile suit or vehicles. The thermal energy is generated by the power output of the Zaku II's thermonuclear reactor and relayed through the mobile suit's hands.
I have our answer. It is Jaburo.
Jaburo, thank you. I couldn't remember. There's so many.
I could
it's
not.
Just
There's
like
too many places.
There's too many places of battles that they go off of, just like in our own real world.
Yeah.
And spread that across all Gundam series. It's kind of a easily missed thing. And then we do also have the 3-tubed missile pod. So this is a pair of optional 3-tube missile pods that can be mounted on the legs for mid to long range attacks. Pretty straightforward at this. They're just missile pods on the legs. Yeah. And then we get our best favorite weapon of all time, the MIP B6 Cracker Grenade. It's a cracker.
Love it, but I hate it.
I know. Identical to those used by infantry, the Cracker Grenade is an explosive weapon designed to be thrown or launched by the mobile suit to detonate after a set amount of time. The Cracker breaks into several smaller munitions over a wide area. The Zaku II can optionally equip up to 4 Cracker Grenades that are stored on the left and right waist armor racks, with 2 on each side. Yeah, they're just giant grenades, but it's just cracker. It's like, oh no, a cracker. It's just funny when they call it out, especially if you watch the Build Fighter series. There's a giant Zaku that they face. And it has a giant cracker, and it just straight up chucks it, and it's a cracker, and everybody freaks out. It's great. Next, we have the Stromfrost, which is a simplified disposable rocket launcher. It is a warhead, is not equipped with a guidance device. It's extremely hard to use the Stromfrost to hit a moving target accurately. However, it is still a highly destructive portable weapon. This is literally just an RPG for a mobile suit.
I love it. It's a great thing.
RPGs are not self-guided. You just have to line up the shot and pray that it hits.
And pray that it flies straight.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, because RPGs don't.
No. Like, never.
Never. We also do have a Gatling shield, so a weapon from the MS-07B3 Goof Custom. This is a shield that with a powerful drum and belt feed 75mm Gatling gun attached to it. The Gatling gun can attach from the shield itself when it runs out of ammunition. So, it's a big shield with a big gun.
They use those in the show, and Requiem.
Yes, but it's the Goofs are using it.
Yeah.
You actually see Goofs actually using those weapons, not the Zaku's, but because they're originally from Goofs.
Yeah.
Next, we have the Sea Serpent, which is a handheld wired grappling weapon that can be used to deliver crippling electrical shocks to enemy mobile suits. Its tip contains verners that help it controlling its trajectory. So you can control where it goes with the special jets it has.
Yeah.
And I believe we see Char used this as well in the
I
original
think he
show.
does.
I'm pretty sure he uses the sea serpent. Or if it's not a sea serpent, it's like a what's the heat rod? Similar to a heat rod. Kind of.
I don't. Yeah.
Heat rods are whips, and they can get superheated just like a heat fan or a heat hawk or anything like that.
Yeah. Or the heat swords or whatever.
Yeah.
Heat everything, aka
Heat everything. Yes.
Zeon weapon.
Yes. And heat hawks and heat swords and all that stuff can deflect beam weaponry if you're hitting it on the superheated part. So you can parry beam weaponry with those. So now we have the ARM machine gun, the Zeon Remnant F-Type Zaku II units, shown in the UC 00696 Last Sun, were equipped with a magazine-fed 105mm caliber machine gun on right forearms. These projectile fire weapons are highly effective against most mobile suit armor at close range. Yes, it would be.
Yeah.
And then we have the Folding Hawk. So the Zeon Remnants F-Type Zaku II units, also in Last Sun, could be equipped with optional Folding Hawk, a compact, collapsible polearm weapon that with its blade it can be superheated to high temperatures to increase its cutting capacity. The long reach of the weapon gives the Zaku a considerable advantage in close quarters combat. So, and yes, Sikshami, the heat rods can also, they can be equipped to electrify. That is correct. It just depends on the mobile suit and the type of armaments it's equipped with.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's a lot of good fun. A lot of good weapons for the Zaku. Surprisingly, there's quite a bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of weapons.
They're very
I feel like a lot of it is because, it's the only mobile suit that gets used all the time.
In the original show, absolutely. It's like so we see the Zaku literally all the time. The Federation side, we only have 3 mobile suits. Yeah. The Gundam, the gun tank, and the gun cannon.
And the gun tank is barely a mobile suit.
Yeah, it's barely a mobile suit. That is factual. And then you see the Zakus all over the place. Then we eventually get to the Goofs. And then we get to the Rick-Doms. And then we get to, well, not Rick-Dom, but the Doms themselves. Rick-Dom was until Double Zeta. But the Doms. Yeah, and then mainly Zakus. That's what you're going to see. Yeah, and a lot of toys mostly won't harm the Gundam that time. Yeah, that's true too.
Yes.
But yeah, so with that ending, let's get into our mid break. Thank all our listeners, and we will be right back.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to the Miller Show, where we talk about everything with the podcast that has nothing to do with the lore of Gundam. Here, we want to thank all of our listeners. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. And if you want to support the show, you can go to Apple or Spotify, leave a 5-star review on Apple with some words, read it out loud the next time on the show, as well as a nice Spotify comment, which we actually do have a Spotify comment today from Lexi from our last week's episode. Will you guys be doing an episode on Gundam Seed and Seed Destiny? My one Master Grade hit is the Justice Gundam, though Luna Maria Hawk's custom Zaku is my favorite. Enjoying the podcast so far. Well, thank you, Lexi. We appreciate it. And, we'll eventually do Seed Destiny. We'll eventually do all that.
We will absolutely get there.
And, yeah, which, funny that you brought up Zakus. Yes, there is a Zaku in Gundam Seed.
Which is funny.
Which is hilarious because that's the only Zaku in Gundam Seed is Luna Maria's custom Zaku. Yeah. It's the only one in the show. It's super weird. I was like, of all the mobile suits, there's a random Zaku. Why every other mobile suit's a Gundam.
I really do need to watch Seed.
Yeah. Oh, Seed's great. Seed is fantastic. I need to watch Seed Destiny. Yes, I believe
the Seed movie too.
Well, they just put all of Seed on Netflix.
Yeah, they just did that Seed Freedom movie.
Yes.
Just got on Netflix too. So yeah, I really need to watch them all.
And I'm trying to think if it is this one. Yes, it is the Zaku Warrior 6 Jami. That is her custom. That is Luna Maria's custom Zaku. It's very interesting. It is cool looking, not gonna lie. So there's that. And then you can also find us in a few different Discord servers, the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net, as well as my own Discord server, the Ben and Friends Podcasting Discord, where you can find this show and all the other shows that I host, which are Holocron History, Star Wars Canon vs. Legends, the Final Fantasy Lorecast, the Wizarding World Lorecast, and the Witcher Lorecast. So go check those out.
All the shows.
All the shows. Yeah, go check all the shows. And you can also find us live on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/BenOfTamaria every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, to where you can join our Twitch chat, just like Yami here, who's having a great time with us, asking questions while we go along. It's great fun. I love it. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Yami. Thank you, everybody who enjoys the show. But with that being said, let's get back into more Zaku's. All right, we're back, and now we're getting into the history of the Zaku. So, the MS-06F entered service at some point before the Battle of Loom and was used alongside the MS-06A Zaku II first mass production type and the MS-06C Zaku II early production type. Its production number was limited at this point, and Zeon's primary mobile suit was the MS-06C. Following the Antarctic Treaty, however, the MS-06F, which was lighter than the MS-06C due to the lack of radiation shielding, became the primary mobile suit. So, yeah. They ditched the early models for the newer model that, could stand radiation better.
Fair enough.
That's very logical sense.
Yeah.
Especially since a lot of these mobile suits use nuclear reactors. Yeah. So there's that. That would be bad. We're going to have a nuclear meltdown right here and there. All right, cool. It would go on to become the most produced mobile suit of the war and the basis of countless variations, as well as the mobile suit most associated with the name Zaku. It was produced from the Zeon homeland, the lunar base Granada, was well as the industrial blocks of colonies taken over by Zeon during the 1 week battle. Yeah.
It's a long battle.
1 week?
When it comes to mobile suit battles.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, so many Zakus are made. So many Zakus. And the amount of variations that we'll get into
billions of dollars
later.
worth of Zaku.
Oh, I would say more than billions. Probably go trillions, if not higher. The amount of mobile suits they produced. Because if you go to the final battle in the series, you see hundreds, if not thousands, of Zakus.
They are piled up.
It is ridiculous. So during the first landing operation on March 1st, UC 0079, more than half of the mobile suits that landed as part of the first terrestrial mobile division were MS-06F, most of which were later modified into the MS-06J Zaku II ground type during overhaul by the second landing operation on the 11th and the third landing operation on the 18th. Most of the mobile suits that landed were the MS-06J. So, yeah, it's just they're better suited for ground combat rather than the Zaku II, which were the standard 06F was mainly staged for, space.
Yeah.
So, that's going to be the main difference there, because the downside to Zeon in the 1 year war and using Zaku's were they were not equipped for Earth combat.
Right.
at
Since
all.
they were literally from space.
Exactly. That was the downside, and that's why they lost. So on March 12th, the UC 0079, the Earth Federation forces, the 503rd Battalion captured a MS-06F in the Nevada desert, the third and most intact Zaku to be captured at the time. The unit originally belonged to the 324th British team of the Mobile Assault Force 3rd Terrestrial Mobile Division and arrived on Earth as part of the second landing operation. And then, anime idea. Come to think of it, there would be get those metal materials for mass production of Zaku's, impossible from Earth, perhaps on lunar base. Maybe they got metal elements from the moon rocks. Possible. We don't really know. I mean, I know they also mined asteroids, so that's also a very high possibility. They got elements and metals from asteroids because there's thousands and millions of asteroids out there.
And if I remember right, some of the colonies are literally just mining colonies.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's true. That is very true. And then since it was a A-2 condition, it was secretly sent to Jaburo. Starting from March 24th, it was used in a series of tests and analysts. Though details of these tests were lost, fragmented data indicated that the analysis accelerated the Federation's mobile suit development. Yeah. That's more practical from asteroids. Yeah, I would think asteroids more than likely is where they get the material and elements to create the metal for mass production of mobile suits. Because there's no way they were mining a planet, because they're just not.
Right.
So it's mainly asteroids. And I think you do see it in Double Zeta, and where the main character is a miner, or he's a scavenger, but he goes out in space to grab asteroids and stuff. And then though the MS-06F was later replaced by the MS-09R Rikdom, and finally the MS-14A Gelgoog as the Principality's military primary space use mobile suit, it was remained in action throughout the rest of the One-Year War. Following the end of the war, it was continued to be used by the Zeon remnants and even Neo-Zeon during the first Neon-Zeon War. Some units would also find their ways into personal collections.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
There's just a horde in there, the Zaku.
It's just a horde of Zakus. Yeah.
Gimme.
I mean, go and watch Gundam Build Fighters, the original, and try. One of the characters, his main mobile suit he uses is a goof. It's a custom goof.
Isn't one
and
of the
guess
characters...
what his character's name is?
Oh, God.
It's Lieutenant Rao. It's his character name because if you go watch the original anime, that was the first person we have as introducing the goof was Lieutenant Rao. Or Mr. Rao, yeah, in the show they call him Mr. Rao. But he also goes by Lieutenant Rao because that's what I love about the Build Fighter series and Build Divers is they show so much reference and cameos and nods to all the other different series in those series, and it's just great. Even character designs are exactly like copy and paste. It's like, hey, here's Rao from the original Gundam. Here's Mr. Rao in Gundam Build Fighters who uses a custom goof.
I have started Build. I just haven't gotten very far.
It's good. I like it.
I
would say, okay, if you're watching dub, I will let everybody know now. Gundam Build Fighters and Gundam Build Fighters Try, the dubs aren't good because it was not it wasn't an American or Canadian dub. It was a Singaporean dub.
Yeah.
They just did not get the greatest of actors. Now, when you go to Gundam Divers and Gundam Divers Re-Rise, those are all done through Funimation. Funimation did the entire dubs for those, and those sound phenomenal. Yeah, Like, you get slips of Char and Layla in the park, like eating ice cream in the Gundam Build series. Yeah, you just see random stuff. Gundam Build Fighters Try the main character's master, like, so the main character uses a martial arts. It's like, okay, this, and his Gunpla is literally called Build Burning Gundam. It's like, all right, well, if you watch G Gundam, you know exactly where this is going. His martial arts insignia for his school is literally their burning finger. And once you finally finish the show, they finally show his master's face. And it's Domon Kashu. Straight up copy and paste.
Of course.
And guess where they trained? The Guyana Highlands, where Domon and Master Asia had their fierce battle.
Of course.
Yeah. It's great. It's great. Go watch the stuff. Gundam's fantastic. So, moving on to variants. So, Zaku has quite a bit. Specifically, we're doing the Zaku II variants, not all the Zakus, because there's a lot of Zakus. Right. So, there is the MS-06F Zaku Mine Layer, the MS-06FS Zaku II, the MS-0X. I'm just making up words at this point. MS-06F Zaku II, the Dozo-Zabi Custom. So that's Dozo-Zabi's his own version. Yeah, the MS-06FZ Zaku II Kai, the MS-06F-2 Zaku II F2 type, the MS-06J Zaku II Ground type, the MS-06M Zaku Marine type, and the MS-06S Zaku II Commander type. Yeah, there's a lot.
So many.
Yeah. And yeah, that's awesome. We're watching Beginning G. Beginning G's, I have not watched it myself. I know that's where they started the Build series, and it's its own thing. It's completely separate from all the other stuff. So that's where Beginning Gundam comes from, by the way, which is cool. It's from Beginning G. And then, last but not least, we have some notes and trivia. So, the Hajime Kadoki redesigned MS-06F Zaku II featured in Model Gunplex Sentinel 0079 Mecha Design Series was later rebranded as the MS-06F-2 Zaku II F2 type, featured in Mobile Suit Gundam 0083 Stardust Memory. There we go. Got it out there. Stardust Memory.
Stardust Memory is a weird one, too.
Yeah. It's in the, it's in the UC timeline.
Yeah.
The MS-06F Zaku II was used in the basis for the Zonder monster L-14 in the anime King of Braves Gar, which I don't know too much about Gar. Like the Zaku, is lightly armed and more of a nuisance rather than up to the series. Titular mecha fitting the series was also created by Sunrise. So it's another Sunrise anime. This is also one very few non-original units. The Super Robot Wars games will allow original characters and minor characters from other Gundam works to pilot regardless of normal series restrictions, though this tends to be temporary and restricted to a few games in the franchise. And then the first wave of Gundam Infinity figures came with pieces to build the MS-06F Zaku. A completed MS-06 Zaku was sold in 2-pack along with the RX-78-2 Gundam figure, both featuring battle damage as a callback to the MSIA Battle Scarred series.
Those were cool. I, as a kid, had one. Only one.
Only one.
And it was Endless Waltz Wing.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I think you told me about that one.
Yeah, like half its face is ripped off. It was great.
Then the San Diego Comic-Con 2-pack also serves as a homage to the MIA double pack, also featuring the RX-78 and the MS-06F. And then the box of the 1999 1/60th perfect grade model kit claims that the Zaku II is armored with titanium chromatic composite, more in line with the Federation units of the One-Year War than the Zaku's fellow Zeon units. Despite multiple reissues in the kit over the years and numerous sources stating that the Zaku's armor is steel, the text in the box has not been changed. So, meh.
They don't care.
No, they don't. It's fine. But yeah, that's what we have on the Zaku.
Yay.
Pretty cool stuff. And for everybody, don't forget, this Thursday, or when you listen to this, the day before, another DLC pack for Gundam Breaker 4 will be released with more story missions, 4 new mobile suits, and more diorama packs.
I have been busy and haven't even got to play the chapter they did drop.
I played the first mission, and I haven't played the others yet. I still need to play the other missions.
I just haven't had time yet, but hopefully soon I will.
I unlocked the... What one did I unlock? I think it was... No, it wasn't the crossbow. That's the next one I'm doing. Can't remember the first one that you unlock. But... Oh, no, it was the Shingoku Ashray is the first one you unlock. But they added a mobile suit from Gundam Build Divers Re-Rise, which honestly I'm shocked. And it's the one at the very end of the anime where it's the main character's Gundam, and he has a mix and mash of all the different series of armors for his mobile suit. Because he has a core change system, so his Gundam can change different parts
Nice.
for different circumstances. So if anybody watches Zoids, if anybody's old enough to know what Zoids are, if you watch Zoid Zero Century with the Liger Zero, it has different components that it can equip to change for specific battle strategies. That's what the core Gundam is in Gundam Diverse Re-Rise.
So this is an absolute classic.
Yeah, there is a version Kai New Gundam. That is true. I completely forgot about that. So yeah, we'll have more Gundam DLC, and we'll have 2 more weeks of Gundam DLC. So great stuff.
Yay.
And also this Thursday is also Dragon Age Veilguard, so I'll be busy with that.
I would love to get that, but I have not yet.
It's
Wait
fine.
for it.
I'm excited. But yeah, that's I don't think I have anything else to add. Do you have anything to add?
Nope.
No? All right. Well, with that being said, everybody, thank you for again listening to the Gundam Lorecast, and pilots, stay safe out there. Thank you for listening to the Gundam Lorecast. You can find us on the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net, the Ben and Friends podcasting Discord, where you can share how you got into the Gundam series, and you can even find us on Twitter at Gundam Lorecast, and even email us at gundamlorecast@outlook.com.